the Judicial Service Commission, and also the President of the Judiciary. I'll request that we take our positions, the guests who are joining us. We give our chairmen of the commissions the front seats, then the commissioners to flank them at the back. So give the opportunity to the chairman to sit at the red seats, then the CEOs. And now may we be upstanding for the Kenya National Anthem and the East African Community Anthem. National Anthem. Now, as we remain standing, I'll invite Reverend Dr. Samuel Kobia to lead us in a brief prayer. Karibu sir.
As we remain studying, let us pray. We give you thanks, our dear loving God, for bringing us safely to this place, for the function and activities that have been planned. God of abundant life, we thank you for blessing of good health that has made it possible for us to be here today and to have been able to continue with our work. God of unfailing mercy, thank you for your grace, without which we couldn't have done that which we have achieved in the last 10 years. We come here to commemorate the work that all of us severally and together have done according to the mandate and the functions given to us. God, the author of time, we know 10 years is not a short time, and yet we know it's just like a minute to you. You have given us guidance in all the work that we have done, and that is why we are here today, to give you thanks, and to give thanks the President, who is our appointing authority, of the chairpersons and the commissioners and all others that have been involved in our work. God of everlasting grace, in our work, we have faced challenges, obstacles, and difficulties. But for your grace, we couldn't have succeeded. Now we come here to look back at what we have done and to look forward to what we will be able to do. Again, it's through your grace that we'll be able to achieve it. Thank you for holding our hand in all what we do. And for this day, we want to invite you to be our guide. All that we have planned, we can only succeed if you are with us. And because we don't want to fail, therefore, with all humility, we invite you to be with us so that this function will be a success. For this we pray in the precious name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
With the permission of our principal guest, kindly have your seats. Our principal guest, the chairpersons, the CEOs, and the commissioners present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Under the Chapter 15 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the chairpersons and constitutional commissions and holders of independent offices established a collaborative and consultative forum in order to provide an avenue for collaborative forum, in order to have a collaborative consultations without compromising the independence of each institution. And that is today we are here to celebrate a decade. And with all humility, it is my humble responsibility to invite the chairperson of the National Land Commission, who is also the chairperson of the CCIOs, to make his welcome remark. Let us appreciate our chairperson, Mr. Gershom Otachi. Welcome, sir.
The chief guest, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, my fellow chairpersons of constitutional commissions, and the holders of independent offices present, commissioners of various commissions and board members, CEOs of the various commissions, members of staff, partners, stakeholders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you all. God is good, and all the time. Now, allow me, before I make some brief remarks, to just quickly get to somewhat introduce the members of this caucus. And what I'll propose is that I will call the name of the chair, who will stand up and wave. But then as the respective chair of the commission stands up, the commissioners of that commission kindly also stand up so that we recognize you. Now, I will start with, now, I'm the chair of the caucus, so they call me chair of chairs. But we also have a super chair who is also a head of an arm of government, and that is the Chief Justice. So it's in these rare occasions that I have the occasion to be a chair of a super chair. So may I request our super chair, the Chief Justice, to stand, and the commissioners of the Judicial Service Commission. Thank you. Thank you very much. Then let me move on to the chairperson. Now, our caucus is very lean in the manner in which we are organized. I am the chair and have a vice chair, and that's the end of the matter. So, so I'll move on to the vice chair of the caucus, that is Honorable Florence Kajuju, who is the chairperson of the Commission on Administration of Justice. Your commissioners. Thank you very much. I have not seen the chair of the Parliamentary Service Commission. I don't know whether the vice chair he is here or commissioners. Parliamentary Service Commission. I think they'll be joining us later. Thank you. So of course we are commissions, and they are the holders of independent offices. So I'm not calling in any particular order. I now will call upon the Auditor General, who audits all of us, on the Deputy Auditor General and the staff. Thank you. You know, when we sit with the Auditor General in our meetings, she's very lonely, so we don't know that she has a team. They keep on saying, you refer to commissioners, but I'm alone. Thank you for coming with your team. Asante sana. Then EACC, Archbishop Eliud Wabukala, the chair, sent his apologies. He was not, yes, so he was not to come, but then present is John Olkoloi, representing the chair. Thank you very much. EACC, EACC, please stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I know that the chair and the commissioners, the newly inducted commissioners, were somewhere for induction. They cannot be able to join us, so they send their apologies. And just for the record, the Archbishop is one of those who takes this caucus very seriously. So his absence is something that was very painful for him. He was actually the immediate vice chair of the caucus. Now, I'll now move on to the chair of the moment. The chair of the moment, the chairman of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. You understand why I call him the chair of the moment? Your commissioners. Thank you very much, IEBC. You know you are the people of the moment. Asanteni sana. Then the chairperson of the Kenyan National Commission of Human Rights, that is Roslyn Odhiambo Odede. Roslyn? Oh, she must be on the way. Okay, all right. All right, that is Kenya Human Rights Commission. These are the commissioners? Okay. Let's give them a fresh clap because they are recently appointed commissioners. Yes, I was looking forward. Rosalyn will be coming because she's the baby now. She's the last born. She got into office just last month, and the commissioners welcome. While at that, you know, when I introduced the chair of the moment, I did not state his name, but you all know the name of Wafula Chebukati. That's a household name. Sorry, I did not mention the name. Now, the chairperson of the Public Service Commission, Ambassador Anthony M. Mushiri. Ambassador Mushiri, he must be on the way. Public Service Commission, commissioners? They must be on the way, okay. I do know that there are those who had urgent meetings this morning who will be joining us later, just as there are some who have meetings in the course of the day who will have to release at some point in time. Then we come to another independent office holder, that is the Controller of Budget, Dr. Margaret Nyakango. Has she come in yet? Okay, she must be on the way. Anybody from the Office of the Controller of Budget? Okay, they'll be joining us later. The chairperson of the Teachers Service Commission, Dr. Jamlek Muturi John. Your commissioners, please. Dr. Jamlek, you appear to be very popular. The only ululation so far is for JSC, for TSC. Okay, thank you. Then the chairperson of the National Gender and Equality Commission, Dr. Joyce Mutinda, and her commissioners. Thank you very much, Dr. Joyce. The chairperson of the National Police Service Commission, Mr. Eliud Kinuthia. Okay, the vice chairperson is there, and we discussed earlier, I think the chairperson must be on the way, and commissioner. So the vice chair and commissioner and other members, oh, sorry, yeah, okay, assistant commissioners. Thank you, Asante sana. Okay. The chairperson of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, Mrs. Lynn Cherop Mengich, and your commissioners. Thank you very much. The chairperson of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, Mrs. Anne Makori, and your commissioners. Thank you very much. Then the chairperson of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, the Reverend Dr. Samuel Kobia. Your commissioners and members of staff who are here? Okay. Now, we are very blessed that in this caucus, we have a reverend and an archbishop. So we are doing very well. Now, the chairperson of the Commission on Revenue Allocation, Dr. Jane Kiringai, is out of the country, and I think with her commissioners, I don't know whether there is representation. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Okay, now, the other independent office holder who may be joining us later is not here because they had an urgent meeting in the morning, is the Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Nurdun Haji. Is there a representation? Oh, okay, thank you. Just, that is who? Oh, that Mule. Okay, good, okay. Yeah, so this is presentation for the Director of Public Prosecutions. Then the Office of the Attorney General is supposed to be joining us later, but there's representation. Thank you very much. Then we have just a minute. The Kenya Law Reform Commission does not currently have commissioners. We have the Chief Executive Officer. Kindly stand up. Thank you very much. Yes, so anybody I have forgotten? I think I've called all my members. Yes. Anybody I've forgotten? Have I forgotten anyone? Okay. I happen to be the chairman of the National Land Commission. I had forgotten myself. So my commissioners, CEO, and members of staff, please stand up. Thank you. I'm asking who I have forgotten, and people are silent. I'm not telling you I've forgotten myself. So thank you very much. Now, I'm greatly honored that you have found time, all of you here out of your busy schedule, to join us during this special day for the Forum of Constitutional Commissions and Independent Officers, which in the acronym is CCIOs, as we celebrate 10 years of existence. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitutional Commissions and Independent Officers were established by Chapter 15 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, to perform the following constitutional mandate as per Article 249 of the Constitution. 1, to protect the sovereignty of the people of Kenya. 2, to secure by all state organs of observance of democratic values and principles. And 3, to promote constitutionalism. The main object of constitutional commissions and independent offices is to buttress the tripartite configuration of government and enhance transparency and the rule of law while observing the principles of good governance. Under Article 249, the CCIOs are required to exercise independence and to perform their functions without fear, favor, or prejudice. No person or organ may interfere with their functioning, and they are only subject to the Constitution and the law. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, in 2012, the chairpersons of the constitutional commissions and holders of independent offices established a collaborative and consultative forum in order to provide an avenue for engagement, both amongst themselves and with the public. This is a forum that I currently chair. I take this opportunity to give special recognition to the founders of this forum, which were the inaugural chairs of the CCIOs under the chairpersonship of in order of assumption office. The first was Honorable Otiende Amolo, then the chair of CAJ, Ombudsman, followed by Charles Nyachai, the chair of CIC, followed by Agnes Odhiambo, the controller of budget, followed by Dr. Lydia Zomo, Teacher Service Commission, and Dr. Jane Kringai of CRA. Every year, the forum holds a conference to take stock on progress made in policy, legal, and regulatory reforms, in addition to reviewing the development of related institutional frameworks. This year, 2022, is unique as a unique year for the CCIOs. The Forum of Chairs is marking 10 years of existence, and equally, most of the member institutions happen to have just turned 10 years a couple of years or months ago, or are turning 10 years since their establishment. So after the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010, there followed the following year the process of the statutes that constituting the commissions, the process of recruitment, and that's why it was in 2012 that when the commissions were fully constituted, as well as independent offices, the inaugural chairs, in their profound wisdom, found it fit to come together and found this caucus. To mark the 10 years, the forum lined up a series of activities to celebrate and highlight their achievements. Some of the key activities are as highlighted below. A public lecture, which was hosted in conjunction with the University of Nairobi last week. We've had a series of media engagements, and yesterday we had the profound privilege of paying a courtesy call to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular event is a culmination of the anniversary celebration. Our theme is celebrating a decade of promoting constitutionalism and observance of democratic values and principles. This accords the CCIOs an opportunity to reflect on the strides of the forum has made in advancing democracy, securing citizens' human rights, entrenching fairness, meritocracy, and servanthood in public service, use of public resources, and transparency and accountability. It's also an opportunity to engage with the members of the public who are our client, an opportunity to share with us their feedback and also possible areas of improvement. Towards this end, we have lined up exhibition booths outside that will give you a glimpse of what the CCIOs have been up to. I urge all of you to find time to visit the exhibition booths and engage with staff. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the CCIOs, allow me to convey, sorry, just a minute. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to acknowledge and thank His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and his government for continuous support to the CCIOs. Indeed, the current government has worked with the CCIOs fraternity in what is also synonymous with a parenting journey from legal frameworks that have birthed the institutions as per the aspirations of Kenyans, demonstrated through our constitution, provision of requisite funding, although as in any entity, it's never enough to meet stipulated mandates, and an enabling environment balancing between independence, coordination, collaboration, and cooperation in service delivery to the Kenyans. I also wish to acknowledge and thank the following partners who have journeyed with us to make this celebration successful. And just in the event any of the representatives here, when I call out, kindly stand up. European Union. Okay, thank you. Let's have a clap, whether they're here or not. Let's give them a clap. Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, FAO. Hussein Mbarak is here representing the country rep. Thank you very, very much. We've gotten tremendous support from FAO. IPRA, not here, tremendous support from you. Thank you very much. ISPAC. Thank you very much, ISPAC, for the support. National Bank. Not here, thank you very much. Cooperative Bank. Kura. Okay, now those are just a few of those who have given us support, and I thought we should recognize them. Now, the technical committee, comprising of the staff from the respective CCIOs under the leadership of Hesron Alela, deserves special mention and acknowledgement for the tremendous work. They have worked tirelessly to make this day successful. I would request that you stand up so that we give you a clap. The technical committee has been working on this from across the CCIOs and independent offices. Kindly stand up. Thank you very much. So as I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to assure you of our continuous commitment to promote constitutionalism and observance of democratic values and principles. And maybe at this juncture, let me mention that, of course, we are in a critical period in our the election processes, and the three objects that are set out in Article 249 bind all of us in terms of promoting constitutionalism, democracy, and the sovereignty of the people of Kenya, which is enshrined in Article 1 that provides that the sovereignty resides in the people of Kenya, who shall exercise that directly or through representation. And this year we are going through that process of representation. And whereas, as I said earlier, there is the man of the moment, the chair of the moment, the institution of the moment that is at the center, all of us as a caucus, as constitutional commissions, have a role or other, and it's in that context. It's in that context that we engage, whether all of us together or in groupings, we all have some responsibility. And we want to assure Kenyans that as CCIOs, we are going to do our best in ensuring that the transition through election this year goes smoothly. I can't say much more than that because I know the chief guest may have something to say. Then before I wind up, may I recognize the CEOs of the constitutional commissions? You may have stood up earlier, but let me just specifically recognize the CEOs of the commissions. CEOs. Thank you. Thank you very much for your support. Asante sana. Of course, the independent officers are the CEOs themselves. Okay. Now, I note, as I said, of course, our chairs will be joining us. And I know that Chair Kinuthia of Parliamentary Service Commission, National Police Service Commission has joined us. Kindly stand up and wave. Yes. You had already been ably represented, but I confirmed that you'll be on the way. Thank you for making it. Dr. Margaret has arrived yet? No. Oh, okay. Were you here earlier? Oh, just came in. Okay. So the deputy controller of budget, maybe stand up and wave. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I'm sure the others will be joining us as we go along. So with those few remarks, allow me to, with profound privilege and honor, to introduce and welcome the Honorable Justice Martha Koome, our Chief Guest, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court. Welcome, Chief Justice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Otachi. Our chair of chairs is also a very humble man, a very nice person to work with. Let us appreciate him. Good morning, everybody. Salam alaikum. Where I come from, we take greetings very seriously. So I'm looking around to see whether everybody is responding, because we take offense when we are not greeted. The Honorable Madam Kajuju knows that very well, because she has had to defend a few cases of people who did not respond to greetings and were cut. This morning, allow me to recognize the end of public service who was supposed to come and be with us. I think he will be joining us. Also to recognize in a very, very special way the chairperson of the Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices Caucus, our chairperson, Mr. Gerson Otachi. To recognize all the distinguished chairpersons, vice chairpersons, and commissioners of constitutional commissions and independent offices, all the readers present here, all our guests, ladies and gentlemen, we recognize your presence this morning and thank you so much for joining us to celebrate the 10 years anniversary of the Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices. I wish to start by appreciating and thanking the committee that has put this celebration together, led by our chairperson, Mr. Gerson Otachi, who is also the chairperson of the National Land Commission, and also for coming up with this idea of celebrating our anniversary of 10 years to commemorate particularly the first decade of our operations as constitutional commissions and independent offices. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the most transformative features of the 2010 Constitution is the recognition in Chapter 15 of what we used to call, before the Constitution was promulgated, the fourth branch of the government. But this was viciously opposed. So we just became Chapter 15 commissions. But the commissions and the independent offices were created in recognition of the reality that the three traditional branches of government could not optimally protect constitutional democracy. Owing to a troubled history of non-adherence to the Constitution and the rule of law, and based on the emerging need to ring-fence the operations of selection and also to shepherd our democratic governance. So we were created as Chapter 15 commissions and independent offices. Indeed, it is considering this that Article 249 of the Constitution instructs that the object of the Commission and independent offices is to protect the sovereignty of the people, secure the observance of democratic values and principles, and promote constitutionalism. The chair has just mentioned that this is the moment when people are anxiously waiting to exercise their sovereignty through voting arenas. And we all have a responsibility to make sure that Kenya remains peaceful, Kenya remains intact, and we hand it over to the next generation. This 10th anniversary celebration provides an opportune moment for the commissions and independent offices to reflect on the journey over the last decade. We will have to look at our milestones. We have a lot to share. We will have to look at our challenges and also our triumphs. But that is not all. It is also a moment to peer into the future and ponder on how to improve on our effectiveness in delivering on each of our institutions, constitutional mandates, and the overall object of promoting constitutionalism and good governance as articulated in Article 249 of the Constitution. The question that we must ask ourselves is whether we have listened to the call of duty over the first decade. Have we made a difference to the governance of our country that justifies the Kenyan people's decision to create the fourth branch institutions beyond the three traditional branches of government? In my assessment, the commissions and independent offices have risen to the challenge and have emerged as a catalyst for the realization of the aspirations that animate the 2010 Constitution. While I may not list each of our institutions' achievements over the last 10 years, we will share them in the course of these celebrations. The commissions and independent offices are proved to be a consequential institution and have made a difference in our country's governance. This is in different spheres of government. The commissions and the independent offices have listened to defend our democracy, protect human rights, and have been instruments for the promotion of our good governance. But we must also acknowledge that this impact has come against the backdrop of a challenging operating environment. And one of the major hurdles that we have experienced as commissions and independent offices is in respect to financial and budgetary constraints. It is widely known fact that we, the commissions and independent offices, also with the judiciary, have always been allocated meager resources that hamper the optimal operation of our institutions. Going into the next decade, this is a concern that ought to be addressed. My hope is that the legislature, the executive branch, will see the roles that these institutions perform as equally important and critical for the realization of the transformative goals of the Constitution, and adequately resource these independent institutions to enable us effectively discharge our mandate. The other challenge that has often hampered the optimal operation of these independent institutions during these last 10 years of our operations is with respect to the replacement of commissioners and independent office holders once their term in office lapses. Our chair has just mentioned the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights that just recently got their commissioners, and also their chair. We have often witnessed delays in commencing the recruitment of new commissioners, leading to legal challenges as to the legality of the decisions undertaken by the independent institutions during such transitional moments. It is my plea that the executive and the legislature should address these challenges experienced in the past and undertake timely recruitment of commissioners and owners of independent offices going into the future. Nevertheless, we have over the past decade also witnessed exceptional unification of government administrative delivery following the clarion call for government to deliver as one. Even we, as commissions and independent offices, should always gear towards working together. And for this reason, it is with humble request that I ask the organizing committee, the chair of the caucus, to organize a retreat for all of us, commissions, to meet and discuss how we can solidify our efforts and our synergies and see the areas that overlap and see how we can deliver also as one. This approach has consolidated available resources, jointly addressing the challenges, and all together realize greater impact for the benefit of the people of Kenya, whom we all serve. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, my reflection is that we operate in an environment in which our democracy and other goals that animate our Constitution are often under challenge, not solely from national factors, but also from the global circumstances. We have all gone through, and we are still experiencing the effects of the COVID-19 global pandemic. The overarching lesson that we have learned over the last decade is that democracy remains under threat everywhere, and emerging complexities complicate the tools that we have utilized to deal with the problems in the past. Volatilities, uncertainties, and ambiguities in global governance demand that we deploy diverse mechanisms jointly to address emerging risk. Our true north should always be our Constitution. In the face of the challenges that we face, my call is that we should realize that we have a duty to preserve our democracy. We have a duty to protect the rights. I call it rights protection. And we have a duty to protect and promote good governance in the work that we do, which require us to always embrace constitutional patriotism. What this means is devolution of the Constitution, and the aims and goals that animate the transformative charter should be our guiding light all the time. It is my hope and prayer that this second decade, which we are beginning today, of the constitutional commissions and independent offices, shall be through which our work will enable the flourishing of our nation and the realization of our people's potential and aspirations. Kenyans from all corners must be able to enjoy the fruits, the benefits, the protection, the assurances that are given in our Constitution. They are for all of us to seek and to claim. May it also inspire others beyond our borders to embrace constitutional unity and democratic resilience for the benefit of the humankind. I thank you all for listening. I congratulate all of us for 10 years of existence, and I wish you wonderful deliberations as we celebrate these great milestones. God bless you.
Let us appreciate our principal guest with a more heartier clap. Thank you so much, the Honorable Justice, Mother Koome, the Chief Justice, and the President of the Supreme Court for that candid word. And we don't take it for granted for the role you're playing. We now wish to move to the next segment, which is the compendium. We'll wish to have some highlights given to us by the Communication Director, Manager, National Gender and Equality Commission, that is Mr. Daniel Waitere. I'll invite my colleague Tabitha Mutemi to moderate that session. Kindly, Tabitha.
Our chief guest, Chief Justice and President of the Chairperson's Forum, Honorable Florence Kajuju, who is also the Chairperson of CAJ. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize all the distinguished chairpersons of the Constitutional Commission and independent offices, the vice chairpersons, the CEOs, the CCIOs technical committee that put this together, all distinguished guests this morning, all protocols observed. Allow me to invite, with a hand of applause, my colleague, who is also a member of the technical committee, Daniel Waitere, who was very instrumental in actually putting the compendium together for this occasion. Let's put our hands together. Welcome, Daniel. Remember to follow us on hashtag CCIOs at 10.
Thank you, Tabitha. Brian, you could plug the presentation, please. The chief guest, Honorable Justice Mother Koome, EGH, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Chairpersons of Constitution, Chief Executive Officers of Constitutional Commissions and Independent Offices, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present the highlights of the compendium that we are launching today. We'll start with a brief synopsis. And to celebrate 10 years since the establishment of the forum, all CCIOs evaluated their performance as conferred to them by the Constitution and other statutes, and as highlighted in the compendium themed Taking Stock that will be unveiled shortly. The compendium also highlights the CCIO's strategic direction for the next 10 years and aligning them to the government's blueprints. And in the interest of time, the following are the highlights of each commission and independent offices as contained in the compendium. We start with the Commission on Administrative Justice, whose mandate is to, among other things, investigate complaints of delay, abuse of power, unfair treatment, manifest injustice or discourtesy. Critical milestones over the last 10 years include handling over 800,000 complaints and 300 access to information applications for review. The Commission has contributed towards public policy formulation and reforms through the issuance of over 45 advisory opinions on public administration, promoted quality public service delivery, where public servants and institutions with excellent performance have been recognized and feted through the Huduma Ombudsman Award Scheme, participated in over 40 public interest court matters to advance administrative justice and constitutionalism, and promoted and mainstreamed alternative dispute resolution ADR methods. The next is the Commission on Revenue Allocation, whose mandate includes making recommendations concerning the basis for the equitable sharing of revenue and actively pursuing 801 asset recovery civil cases worth approximately 12 billion Kenya shillings, which are pending in various courts in the country, and averting loss of approximately 38.4 billion through active, proactive investigation and disruption of corruption networks. Next is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, whose mandate is conducting or supervising referenda and elections to any elective body or office established by the Constitution and any other elections as prescribed by an Act of Parliament. Critical milestones, including the conducting of and supervising the 2013 and 2017 general elections, the 2017 fresh presidential elections, as well as several by-elections, the establishment of a professional and permanent secretariat with relevant competencies, knowledge, and skills over the years in election management through capacity building in international best practices. The Commission has devolved its operations before the 2027 general election by establishing county election managers' offices in all the 47 counties, elevated the Commission on the continental and global platform as a reputable election management body, and spearheaded electoral legal reforms over the years, which have led to Parliament enacting or amending such laws. The next is the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. The authority has power to investigate police misconduct based on complaints received from members of the public, police officers, or through its own motion. Critical milestones over the last 10 years include rewarding outstanding police service officers. Over 250 police officers have been feted and 30 police facilities for exemplary work. There has been reduction of use of force by police officers, and this is attributed to the accountability IPOA demands from individual officers when they undertake their duties. There has been vindication for wrongly accused officers. There has been conviction of culpable officers found afoul of the law, and there has a general improvement of human rights standards for Kenyans coming into contact with the police. The next is the Judicial Service Commission, with a deep history dating back to independence. Critical milestone by the Judicial Service Commission over the years has been enhancing the human resource capacity of the judiciary, facilitating leadership transition, promoting diversity in the judiciary workforce, capacity building in the judiciary, improving terms of service and employee welfare, improving access to justice, promoting accountability of the judiciary, resolution of complaints, touching on judges, judicial officers and staff, mainstreaming technology in the delivery of justice, and reduction of case backlog. The next is the Kenya law reform, whose mandate, among others, include assisting county governments and their MDAs in the preparation and reform of their legislation, Critical milestones include the development of model laws for county governments, technical legislative support and training for county governments, constitutional implementation during medium term 2, the alignment of existing laws to the Constitution, legal audit with Council of Governors of national and county governments, legislation in 7 thematic areas, and public education. The next is the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, whose mandate is to enhance the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all in Kenya. Critical milestones include public inquiries on thematic human rights violations, the mainstreaming of ICT for human rights, the recognition, protection, and inclusion of intersex persons in Kenya, the promotion of the rights of human rights defenders, elections and human rights, monitoring the realization of economic, social, and cultural rights, engagement with devolved governments, and human rights and business practice in Kenya. The next is the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, whose mandate is to facilitate and promote equality of opportunity, good relations, harmony, and peaceful coexistence between persons of the different ethnic, religious, and racial communities of Kenya, and to advise the government on all aspects. Critical milestones for the last 10 years include strengthening peace building, national values, and cultural systems in institutions of learning, influencing the cohesion and integration agenda in public institutions, enhancing inter and intra-communal relations through dialogue and mediation processes, promoting compliance and enforcement of hate speech law, strengthening early warning and early response mechanism for peaceful elections, increased generation of knowledge on cohesion issues through research, and demystifying ethnicity. The next is the National Gender and Equality Commission, whose overall mandate is to promote gender equality, inclusion, and freedom from discrimination among all people in Kenya, but with a special focus to women, persons with disabilities, the youth, children, older members of the society, minorities, and marginalized groups. Critical milestones for the NGEC include the review of bills, policies, procedures, and administrative guidelines. There has been issuance of advisories, the development of gender mainstreaming tools and instruments. There has been the development of a dashboard on gender equality and inclusion indicators. There is the inventory of Kenya's minority and marginalized communities. The Commission conducted an audit of the 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census. The Commission has also observed elections, conducted also the first ever inquiry into child pregnancies in this country, and the Commission has also undertaken public interest litigation for SIGs, and also continues to do oversight in reporting of international treaties and conventions ratified by Kenya on matters relating to special interest groups. The National Land Commission is next, whose role is basically to facilitate sustainable land use in Kenya through holistic land policy, efficient land management practices, equitable access to land, comprehensive land legislation, and applying appropriate land dispute handling mechanisms, among others. Over the years, NLC has been able to do compulsory acquisition of land and do compensation, administration and management of public land. There has been review of grants and dispositions of public land. There has been land conflict resolution mechanisms. There is mainstreaming of land use planning, research on land use and use of natural resources, revenue generation from land and land-based resources, the implementation of the 2009 land policy. There has been issuance of advisories by the Commission, these continuous public education and awareness, and the decentralization of land governance in the counties. The next is the National Police Service, which is the umbrella law enforcement organ in Kenya. The NPS has been able to undertake institutional, legislative, and policy reforms, have police accountability reforms, police professionalism, terms and conditions of service, and as well as administrative, operational preparedness, and logistical capacity reforms. related to NPS is the National Police Service Commission, whose mandate is to oversee the human resource functions of the National Police Service. The NPSC has been able to, over the years, recruit over 25,000 police constables, promote over 8,000 police officers, has established the legal framework and vetting regulations of officers. The Commission has developed policies in counseling, training and development and housing in the National Police Service. There is an endowment fund for police officers, widows, widowers, and orphaned children. There is established a monitoring committee for health medical cover for the National Police Service, and there is a committee for the identification of beneficiaries for deceased officers' benefits. The next is the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice. The Attorney General is the principal legal advisor to the government and represents the national government in court and in other legal proceedings to which the national government is party, except for criminal proceedings. And the Attorney General's office has been instrumental in the development of legislation in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the provision of legal advisory to state agencies, and legal representation of national government in litigations. The next is the Office of the Auditor General, charged with the primary oversight role of ensuring accountability in the use of public resources within the three arms of government. Critical milestones include the pioneering of the performance measurement framework assessment tool, the revamping of the website to enhance stakeholder experience, the decentralization of audit services, leveraging on ICT to improve efficiency, clearing a backlog of audit reports, and the development of framework for tracking implementation of audit recommendations. The next is the Office of the Controller of Budget, whose mandate is to oversee the implementation of the budgets of the national and county governments by authorizing withdrawals from public funds and submitting to each House of Parliament a report on the implementation of the budgets every 4 months. Critical highlights include the establishment of the office itself, the Controller of Budget, and the unbundling the mandate of the Controller of Budget, the capacity building for county governments, the authorization of withdrawals from public funds, the monitoring and evaluation of projects, the conducting of baseline revenue analysis survey, exchequer automation, and advisory on public debt and pending bills. The next is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, whose overall mandate is to exercise state powers of prosecutions. Critical milestones for the ODPP include enhanced conviction rates, enhanced access to justice. There has been the operationalization of the uadilifu case management system, the restructuring and streamlining of delegated prosecutions, improved public outreach and community engagements and dialogues. The Parliamentary Service Commission has been able to undertake infrastructural development, capacity development of members of parliament and staff. There has been facilitation of persons with disability, and perhaps this one, the establishment of a creche in parliament for lactating members and staff. There has been prudential financial management, parliamentary outreach, which is opening parliament to the public, and the mainstreaming of public participation. Next is the Public Service Commission, established to oversee the human resource function in the public service. Over the years, the Public Service Commission has strengthened the institutional capacity of the Commission. It has overseen the establishment and abolition of offices in the public service, recruitment, selection, and appointment of persons to public offices, promotion of good governance, values, and principles, and strengthening compliance to governance, national values, and principles of public service. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission is established to set and regularly review the remuneration and benefits of all state officers and to advise the national and county governments on the remuneration and benefits of all other public officers. Critical milestones is that there has been a decline in the public wage bill as a percent of the revenue from 54% in 2013-2014 financial year to about 48% in the financial year 2020-2021. The Commission has developed several policy instruments, including the Public Sector Remuneration and Benefits Policy Guideline, the Allowances Policy Guideline, the Remuneration Guideline for Public Service. It has approved the mortgage and car loan facility for all public officers, and reviewed and harmonized house hardship leave and subsistence allowance in the public sector. And last but not least, the Teacher Service Commission, with the responsibility to register, train teachers, recruit and employ registered teachers, assign teachers employed by the Commission for service in any public school or institution, promote and transfer, exercise disciplinary control, or even terminate the employment. The critical milestones for the TSE has been the registration of teachers, their employment, promotion, the provision of quality education, overseeing teacher professional development, decentralization of services and automation. There has been implementation of collective bargaining agreements with teachers union. The TSE does have open days and has a robust teachers medical scheme, as well as integrity and the promotion of integrity and national values. And that brings the end of the highlight of the CCIO's achievements for the last 10 years. The theme is celebrating a decade of promoting constitutionalism and observance of democratic values and principles. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the highlights of the compendium. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Tabitha, for that session. With the permission of our principal guest, now we'll move to the lounge. And I most humbly wish to request the principal guest, the Chief Justice, the Chairperson, and also the Vice Chair to kindly proceed to the buzzer area. The rest of us to remain seated so that we can see. And I will most humbly request the principal guest, once we commission or launch the compendium, she will allow me to give a copy to each of the chairpersons. To the buzzer at the back, to the buzzer. Let us provide some copies for the principal guest, the chair, and the vice, kindly. Then I'll request the fourth estate, my good friends, kindly cover on one side. I want to invite the chairpersons, and I can see you are blocking my way. The fourth estate members, wapiga picha, tukishapata hiyo picha, let's move. Steve, kindly help me to move the team. Steve. Tusonge kidogo, ningependa kualika the chairpersons. Let them squeeze on one side where the choir is. Kindly, Madam Principal Guest, you'll issue a copy to each of the chairpersons. So each chairperson will get a copy from the Principal Guest. As we also allow the photographers to have a copy to the chairpersons. Once the chairperson gets a copy, kindly come to the stage for a photo. Once the chairperson, you get your copy, kindly come to the stage. Reverend, come with me to the stage. Kindly join me at the stage for a photo. Steve, bring all the chair on stage, with the copies. I also take cognizance and appreciate the presence of the Principal Administrative Secretary, the Executive Arm, Office of the President, who is also the Assistant Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Kennedy Kihara. I also invite him to get a copy, sir. Mr. Kennedy Kihara. Let's appreciate him for joining us. Kindly, sir, to where the CJ is, get a copy. Mr. Kennedy Kihara has just joined us. And as I said earlier, he is the Principal Administrative Secretary, the Executive Arm, Office of the President, and the Assistant Secretary to the Cabinet. Welcome, sir.
Why are so many people doing your job? Can you do your job yourself?
I agree. So let us display the compendium. Let's display it. Let us display the compendium. Tuwapongeze wenyekiti wetu kwa kazi nzuri wanayofanya. Thank you for the good job you are doing. Hongera, hongera. That is Teacher Service Commission Choir. I'm just next to the chairperson. Hongera, hongera. May we take our seats. Thank you. Tabitha.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now cutting the cake to commemorate 10th anniversary, celebrating a decade of promoting constitutionalism and observance of democratic values and principles. Makofi tafadhali. We have the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, who is the chief guest of this occasion, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, EGH. We also have the chairperson of the Chairperson's Forum, Mr. Gashom Otachi, and the vice chairperson of the CCIOs Forum, Honorable Florence Kajuju. One big hand of applause. One big hand of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Once again, celebrating 10 years of promoting constitutionalism and observance of democratic values and principles for the CCIOs, Constitutional Commission, and independent offices. It's a very beautiful cake. A big hand of applause. Thank you. I am informed that the rest of us will also eat the cake as the program goes on. Thank you, Leah Gondi from the Controller's Office, Control of Budget, for coordinating this for us. Thank you very much, Leah. Thank you. A beautiful song by the Teacher Service Commission Choir.
Asante, asante Teacher Service Commission. Hongera, tuwasonga mbele. Hoye Kenya, tuwasonga mbele. Shwari Kenya, hoye Kenya. Wapi makofi ya Teacher Service Commission na wimbo maridadi. That is our theme song, Hoye Kenya, yasonga mbele. Tutakuwa tunapata wimbo hapo baadaye kutoka kwa Public Service Commission, vile vile wakituletea the theme song. Hongera sana, hongera tunapoendelea. We will now move to the next business. And we are going to have a section whereby we are going to have a few of us joining the dais for a moderation of not more than 25 minutes. And our first panel discussion will be looking upon issues of justice and legal. And as we prepare for that, I wish to bring on board our good friend, Spoken Word, to give us something for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Welcome. Let us put our hands together for teardrops. A lot of applause for teardrops. Welcome, teardrops.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed, good morning. If you're here and you love this nation, clap once. If you're here and you love this continent, clap twice. If you're here and you have the love for humanity and you love the world, clap thrice. The best place to be in the whole world right now is Africa. And the best place to be in Africa right now is Kenya. And the best place to be in Kenya right now is Nairobi. And the best place to be in Nairobi right now is at the KICC. And the best place to be at the KICC is here, at the heart of the people. See, the Lord's Song is 3 stanzas, 18 lines, 90 words in English, 62 words in Swahili. The Lord's Song is 3 minutes long. Our national anthem is the Lord's Song that was sung on a foreign land. It was sung in London, Beijing. Our anthem was sung in Athens. Our anthem was sung. It is sung. It will be sung as long as Kenyans are still on the track, because we run the world. But our journey doesn't end at the finishing line. That's where it begins. It has been a sprint, and our forefathers passed down this baton for us to not only continue with the marathon, but to continue with the relay. We are here. We are here to replace I with the letter E on the word bitter and make it better. Yes, some of us were bred with no bread and butter, yet they were raised and bred better, because it's not what we were fed in the stomach, but what we were fed in the mind. Some of us went to school without shoes, but they are here, creating stories that are touching souls. Our hands might be small, but our gifts are bigger. Our problems might be big, but our God is bigger. This war might be tough, but our God is tougher. So let's hold hands and not allow our peace to be paralyzed. If you haven't realized, the whole world comes here for holiday. Can't you see we are living in paradise? See, our journey doesn't end at the finishing line. That's where it begins. 1, we are not divided by our differences. We are united by them. Because we know 1 minus 1 is equal to none. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 1 divided by 1 is equal to 1. The only time we add up to something is when you add 1 plus 1. And that makes it 2. So 1 plus 1 is equal to tuungane. 1 plus 1 is equal to tushirikiane. 1 plus 1 is equal to tushikane. 1 plus 1 is equal to tusidanganyane. 1 plus 1 is equal to tusichochane. 1 plus 1 is equal to Me and you, 1 + 1. Let's add another one and make it 3. See, in Kenya, when times are hard, we don't run away, we learn away. We are the generation that rose from the voices unheard. In Kenya, when times are hard, we stay in huts like wildebeests and buffaloes. We don't live in mansionettes and bungalows, we live in huts. See, we are home. See, we are forever home. Realistically, tumetoka mbali. Personally, unaweza kuona jivunia ukijipiga kifua so diligently, but actually tunafaa tunapiga makofi kwa serikali na Wakenya wengine mbali waliofanya tuheshimike globally. See, we are far ahead of time, and it's about time dunia mzima ikujie mwa Kenya eventually. Sasa ukipita Mombasa Road, standard ni 2 technically. Ile yenye iko chini na ile yenye iko juu physically. Juu barabara zetu ziko juu literally. Definition ya Kenya inafaa kuwa ni resilience both kwa Google na dictionary. Kama uko na wristband yenye iko na colors za Kenya flag and you feel lost, wewe inua mkono tu juu. One hug iko enough kukufanya ufeel at home eventually. Juu wa Kenya ni wa Kenya na Mkenya ni wa Kenya. Typically, tembea Kenya utajua tuna utu, tuna ubinadamu, ni aje fiti, nchi nzima imeunganishwa na salamu, tuko na sheng. Language imecombine languages zote za dunia, huko hakunaga room ya kujudge mtu grammatically. Huyu sasa ni teardrops, lyrically na represent hii country, poetically. Kipchoge ameshikilia record ya marathon tunarani dunia literary. Na yote ingefanyika, hatungekuwa na democracy bila nyinyi technically. Kwa majina kamili ndio Teardrops. Thank you for your time.
Tumpe makofi mazuri Teardrops. Asante sana kwa heshima ya kuja na kuwa nasi siku ya leo. He's on transit to abroad to perform. Na akasema kwa heshima ya kazi mnayofanya lazima aje kwanza kabla ya kuondoka. Thank you so much Teardrops. May God bless you, and in all your endeavors we wish you all the best. We now wish to move to our first stage. I'll request the mics to be now on stage. Mics to be on stage, sanitized and ready for the next session. Our first session panel discussion will be on justice and legal cluster. Please help me and put our hands together as we welcome on stage the Honorable Justice Martha Koome to take her seat. Let's appreciate her as he takes her seat. I also wish to invite Mr. Joash Dache to take the stage. Kindly appreciate him as he takes the stage. I also wish to bring on board Commissioner Caroline Saroni to take the stage. Commissioner. Karibu. Wish to invite the Vice Chair, Honorable Kajuju, on stage. Let's appreciate her as she takes the stage. And the Executive Director, Mr. Moses Maranga. Let's appreciate our ED, Mr. Moses Maranga, as he takes the stage. I will invite my good friend who has been in the judiciary, in the Kenya Forest Service, in the IEBC, 30 years of experience as an advocate, and now a commissioner in IPOA, a human rights activist, 15 years of experience, and that is none other than our moderator, Dr. Praxidis Torore. Welcome, Madam Moderator. You have your 25 minutes starting from now.
Thank you so much. I wish to invite the panelists to quickly just introduce themselves so that we can move on to discuss the key aspects of today's celebrations. And I will start with my left side.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Moses Maranga, the Executive Director, the National Council on Administration of Justice.
Josh Dache, CEO, Kenya Law Reform Commission.
Martha Kone, Chief Justice, President of the Supreme Court and Chair of the Judicial Service Commission and the National Council on the Administration of Justice and the Kenya Law Reform.
Caroline Saroni, Chair of the Advocates Complaints Commission, today representing the Honorable Attorney General. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Florence Kajuju, the Chairperson of the Commission on Administrative Justice, otherwise known as the Office of the Ombudsman. I'm also the Vice Chairperson of the CCIOs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we please give our panelists a round of applause? Today we learned that we have the super chair. So I'm going to start with the super chair, Honorable the Chief Justice. Could you kindly, Madam Chief Justice, share with us how the CCIO has promoted constitutionalism, observance to democratic principles, values, and sovereignty over the past 10 years, with particular reference to the Judicial Service Commission? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I covered it in the speech that the CCIOs have actually executed their mandates with aplomb. Even coming together, bringing us, all of us together to this celebration is a great achievement because we are making a statement that we are there as guardians of the rule of law, guardians of the sovereignty of the people, always asking those who deliver service, are they delivering it properly? As the Judicial Service Commission is concerned, we also realize that we exercise this power of ensuring there is independence and accountability of the judiciary on behalf of the people of Kenya. So all the processes that we engage in, what we ask ourselves is whether we are independent, impartial, we are fair, we are just, and at the end of the day, we are accountable to the people of Kenya. And that is why you saw the Judicial Service Commission courageously conducting public interviews. It was the very first commission to conduct public interviews under the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and now it has become a norm for everybody. So we have embraced the mandates given in the Constitution, and we also celebrate the collaboration and the coordination because we realize we cannot work alone. We need other people. We need other commissions because at the end of the day, we are serving one Kenya. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chief Justice, there has been concern, especially about compliance with orders that are issued by the courts, especially by the state. What is your comment on